JVL wrote a piece a week or two ago about it's Trump still President Trump is still the most likely, in my view, nominee. Well, I think maybe JVL said he was the second most likely to be the nominee in 2028, and his son will be the most likely. But it's basically the same argument that the Trump is not letting himself or his family lose the presidency with any, or at least doesn't want to. And I did a conversation, you'll like this, Katie, with A.B. Stoddard, whom today, which will be up tomorrow, where she really has a real grasp, I've got to say, of Trump's psyche in a way that I certainly don't. I've never been very interested in the psychological side of Trump. I'm just interested in, he's just a horrible threat to our democracy and all that. But she just thinks he could not stand being in the White House in 2028 and watching everyone else run for president, and he's the sideshow as people go through Iowa and New Hampshire, and he will not hand over the party to anyone except himself or his son. And plus he has practical reasons, the massive corruption and so forth, that he can't afford to have someone he doesn't totally trust in there. Plus he loves being president, and he doesn't want to give it up, but he doesn't think he should give it up. And he's talked to himself, who knows what he really believes about the election, but he thinks he doesn't care anyway that the Constitution says you shouldn't have a third term.
I was going to say, but whoa, time out. He can't run. I mean, I know Steve Bannon has said he could.
Really? Who's going to stop him?
What scenario can Donald
What
Trump
scenario is he gets friendly state chairman? I'll let JVL talk. He gets friendly Republican state chairman to put him on the ballot. He gets drafted. So, this is democracy. The 22nd Amendment, it's a little ambiguous anyway, because it wasn't a consecutive term. And anyway, that was a long time ago. There's a lot of other stuff in the Constitution that's been overtaken by events. I'm not going to stop my people from drafting me. And I don't know, maybe they'll get a case to the Supreme Court. Maybe the Supreme Court will kick him off the ballot. Maybe not. Certainly not if they can delay the case so that he's gotten some votes already from Republican voters in some key states. So I don't know. I worry that he could pull it off. Yeah.
What do you think, JVL?
So I've been ringing this bell now for years. And people said I was an insane person, and maybe I am. Fair. I mean, I'm open to the possibility, but it would go like this. Trump would say the 22nd Amendment is really about consecutive terms. Right. I didn't have consecutive terms. Also, I was cheated. Therefore, I'm entitled to this. And the key is that he gets party chairman to get him on the ballot, and he gets to a vote before the case gets to the Supreme Court. Because once people have voted in Iowa or in New Hampshire, I think there will be 2 votes on the court no matter what, to say, yes, he should be allowed to run. I think it becomes easier to find those other 3 votes if votes have already been cast. And I would say this just based on what we saw with the 14th Amendment. So, I mean, the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment is as clear as day. And the Supreme Court was absolutely unwilling to enforce it because they thought that would be getting in the way of democratic legitimacy. They were like, well, there's a remedy. If voters don't want an insurrectionist, they can just not vote for insurrectionists. And so we're going to invent a test here for how this is supposed to work because we don't want to touch it. I think it's a long shot for Trump. Like, if you were betting money, would the court invalidate the 22nd Amendment to allow him to run? I think you probably want odds on it, but it's not like 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
But also, what if the court doesn't validate it? I don't think it's 100% certain that Donald Trump says, Supreme Court has spoken. I must get off. So this is a total violation of our democracy. My people want me. Who are these people, unelected people who are betraying me and betraying the voters? I'm running. Let them stop me. I mean, we can have a right? I don't put that beyond Trump.
But I do think that, so Don Jr., this is my other guy, I wrote about this week. Don Jr., whenever he is included on polling, has been polling in second place. Like, this is a guy, he's basically invisible. He's not out campaigning. He's not talking about it. He is absolutely a viable candidate in a way that, like, Eric Trump is not. Don Jr. Very craftily, starting in 2017, while Ivanka Trump was inside the White House trying to do policy and be a grown-up, Don Jr. realized that the path forward within the Trump dynasty was actually just to go out to Fox and become a guy who understands how to play to the president's base. And he's beloved. He's like a mascot for the Trump lifestyle brand. And so I think that, again, if Trump feels like he doesn't want to go through the election, or feels, he's talked into believing, well, it's really too much of a long shot, the way to do it is you use Don. And the upside for that is if Don wins the nomination but loses the general election, you then preserve 4 more years of sort of graft and bribery for the Trump family, because for 4 more years after that, Don is the presumed front runner for 2032. And all of this is about preserving access
Such bad.
to.
You're
Yeah, I
kidding
know.
me.
It's like-
I'm just
I mean,
just
honestly,
follow the logic of it. The Center for American Progress,
Sick.
$2 billion.
I'm gonna go get sick. I'll be right back.